What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Welcome to the latest and greatest episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, live from the steel basement. As I see, I didn't cut my light on back there. Russian. And sorry for being a little bit late, guys. I usually try to get started right at 8 p.m., man. I try to honor that, but my apologies, man. You know, it's been a day. It's been a day, boy. It's been a day. I won't get into all of that, but hey, I'm live. I'm well. I'm kicking it. But it's been a day. It's been one of those days, man. So I apologize for being a wee bit late, but we're going to get into it, man. Let me make sure I got all of my notations here. We got a couple things to talk about tonight, man. Couple things. Again, I'm still searching for the right phone system, guys. And once I find it, we'll be able to take phone calls again. You know, sometimes you got to go with what you believe in, right? I know some people have given me some alternatives, and it's like, nah. I feel like if it's not right, if it's not what I want it to be, I'm not even going to go down the road. It's just, you know, again, man, Google Meets and Zoom and Discord and all of that is just a little more messy than I want it to be, man. I want a simple solution. So until I find it, guys, we'll just rock out like this. And if it gets to the point, man, to where I can't find a phone queue or phone program like I want, maybe I'll turn this into something else where maybe I'll have you guys send in emails, you know, and maybe I'll read your email questions or something. But we'll figure it out. But let's say what's up and hello to the early commenters, man, and then we'll get right to it. I'm always telling y'all I'm not trying to run too long with you guys, and I end up running long. So I'm going to try to get to it. You know, this is a slow period, man. It's not a whole lot going on right now. You know, it's a lot of rumors, a lot of speculation. Got the Super Bowl coming up. Then it's going to slow down quite a bit until free agency hits. So, you know, just trying to allow us to still have some content, have some fun with each other, man. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys that are coming out postseason, as usually the viewership starts to decline. And it's all good. You know, it's my job to try to keep content out there. And again, more than just Tuesday. This past week has been a little rougher as far as getting some information out, but more than just Tuesday. So stay tuned. But let's say what's up, man, to Mark Cunningham, my man. Kev, so fun. And hello, the lovely Lanisha in the building. You guys know the routine, man. Treat our ladies with care. Lay out that red carpet for them and make sure they are welcome, as we love them dearly. Hello, Lanisha. Appreciate seeing and hearing from you each and every week, man. You're always here. So I really appreciate that. Steeler Cards. My man, Brent Fox. My man, Wide Diggy. Who else is in the building? My man, the infamous Tim, my guy, Malvo, my man, Robert Westover, and of course, my good brother, Kenyon, in the building. Y'all already know what it is. What up, Jack Bauer? My good buddy, Jack, my man, Ralph Fax. All of y'all is my mans and them. Each and last one of y'all are my mans and them. Who else is up in here, man? Who else? Anybody else before I keep going? Aaron Morris. Antoine Hill, what's up, Antoine? What's going on, man? You know, that's all I'm gonna say in terms of NBA in our Sixers. You know, nothing to be too excited about at the moment. So you know, and yeah, NBA is doing some wild things, ain't they? But anyway, guys, let's get to some Steeler business, man. I want to see exactly, let's see, where do I want to begin? Which one of these little topics that I have? Of course, you guys see the question in the title. That will be the last topic, main topic. So I'll start with one of these others. Let's talk a little bit about Aaron Carey. Let's talk about Aaron Carey a little bit, man. Apparently, and let me pull up the notations here. Hold on, guys. I have them on my phone, but I don't quite have them on my screen here. But it's been reported, Mark Kaboly, most of you guys know who Kaboly is. It's been reported that they believe that Aaron Carey may have left on his own accord. I want to know what you guys feel about that. I thought it was strange, in my opinion, to see a guy like Aaron Carey, right, linebackers coach. Thought it was a little surprising that his contract expired and there wasn't an offer extended. Now, let me clean up that statement. I don't know if there was an offer extended or not. I will say I thought it was surprising that, he was so quickly signed by another team for basically doing the same job, right? So we typically have not really seen the Steelers very, very seldom. And, the only time that I've seen it is that title that I have there in this video with Matt Canada. But very seldom do we see coaches or positional coaches or OCs or DCs get fired. Usually the contract expires, and then if they like them, they bring them back, right? So to see Aaron Carey get signed so quickly, it raised an eyebrow because I was like, okay, I don't think the Steelers would have moved on from him, because my question would be to you guys, was this change needed? Let's assume Mike Tomlin decided not going to bring this guy back. Was there anything that you guys would point out that made you feel like he deserved not to be back? Him specifically. I don't know if I could point directly to Aaron Carey in that regard. I don't. Every little thing that I could think about, man, as far as where we struggle defensively, it doesn't just start or stop with the inside or outside backers, right? Doesn't. So I thought it was a bit surprising. Now, what Mark Caboli is saying is he feels like maybe the Jets offered more money than the Steelers were looking to offer. That's very possible. And if that's the case, I don't blame him. I don't blame this guy. A former player, he knows how negotiations work. Hey, if another team is willing to offer me a job based off of the job I did with this current team, listen, the NFL is the business. I know fans, a lot of times you guys want to say, oh, where's the loyalty and all of that? Man, listen, it's a business, dog. It's a business that some are not in that long. So the objective is for you to do what you love doing, have fun doing it, and get that paper while you're doing it. That is the objective. That should be the objective. Honestly, I'm going to say it for any athlete, because there's really not a whole lot of loyalty in these type of businesses, right? Because the owners will do what they want at the drop of a dime. We're seeing it in the NBA. We just saw this crazy trade, and apparently nobody, including the players involved, knew about it. Right? Apparently it was what's the guy's name? Nico Harrison and Rob Pelinka. Apparently those two was just chopping it up. So there goes it right there, right? It just goes to show you, of course, you could be a loyal person at heart, but your loyalty should kind of lie with who's being loyal to you. Let me explain. If you know you're in a shiesty business, how loyal are you going to be to the shysters? You understand what I'm saying? If you're in a shrewd business, if you're in a cutthroat business, you might be the most loyal person on earth, but how loyal are you going to be when you know the ball game you're playing? So that's my point. So do you guys agree or disagree, man? Was there anything that you saw from the linebackers group or whatever that would make you believe that Tomlin and company did not want Aaron Carey back? I can't identify one thing, in my opinion, where I can say, yeah, he definitely needs to be gone. So that's just how I feel about it, man. Steeler Card says, yeah, Mark Carey did a higher title and more money. Mark Carey. You getting them confused with the TV star. But no, I feel what you're saying. Sonny Rothmiller says sacks were down. Okay, so that's a great question and a great point. Well, a great point, Sonny, and that's a question that I will pose. You remember, guys, you might remember when I kind of posed this question a few weeks ago when I said, how much do we put on players? How much do we put on coaches? Remember the question I asked you guys? I said, do we only look at a coach as a good coach when the players develop or do well, and then they're a bad coach when they don't. And the only reason why I'm saying that is, to Sonny's point, sacks being down, to me, it shouldn't be a reason why we fire a linebacker coach. Yeah, I mean, because I guess what I'm saying is, what about his coaching caused the sacks to be lower? It's the same players for the most part, same core, same main top three from last season for the most part. If you think about, Nick Herbig's rookie season and then this past season, along with TJ Watt, along with Alex Highsmith, you understand what I'm saying? Like, nothing really changed there. So what about sacks being down do you put on the linebacker coach's head? I'm not saying there's a right or wrong answer. I'm just saying it's not much for me to grab onto in that regard if it's the same group of guys that sacks were higher the year before. I don't think anything differently happened in terms of the teaching. Let me see what y'all got. Mark Cunningham says, especially when we didn't blitz all year. Yeah, didn't blitz a lot. Steeler Card says sacks being down is on coaching, in my opinion. Explain. I love back and forth, debate. Explain, Steeler Card. Explain. Like, give me a little substance. Explain, from your POV. How is it on coaching? I just want to hear your opinion. That's all. Definitely appreciate you offering an opinion. I just want to hear a little more. So yeah, as I wait for you to reply, I'll just say that, man, is, listen, if Aaron Carey just thought that or if he perceived that, or he was offered more money, I'm not mad at him, bro. I am not mad at him. Listen, the NFL is one of those businesses, dog. You are loyal to who you are currently playing or coaching for at the time. All that, man, take less and stay loyal, yada, yada, yada. Nah, this is not the business for that. Let's see what else y'all got. Kenyon had a comment. Kenyon says sacks were down because we basically play cover three. Fair point. And I would assume Kenyon is saying that doesn't fall on the linebacker coach. Steeler Card says lack of blitz, not showing, not scheming wide open. We have the same players who led the league in sacks. Right, Steeler Cards, I'm with you there, but how does that fall on Aaron Carey? Would that be more defensive coordinator responsibility than the linebacker coach? You understand what I'm saying? The position coach, I just don't see how I would put sacks being down on the head of the position coach. That to me sounds more like defensive coordinator. Oh, okay. You say all right. Well, you say you blame Austin. Okay, cool. But we were talking about Aaron Carey, so just making sure we cleared that up. Well, okay. Yeah, I'm with you. All right. So let's move on to the next thing. What do we have here, guys? Let's talk a little bit about the elephant in the room. Well, maybe the two elephants. One of the elephants is a very small elephant. Because for Steeler fans who are saying this, you're just saying it because it don't even make sense. It just don't. Myles Garrett has requested a trade. And in typical Steeler Nation fashion, I'm already seeing Steeler fans saying the Steelers should trade for him. Now I understand what you guys are saying in theory. I get it. Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, Nick Herbig. Whoa. What an outstanding 4-man pass rush. But guys, come on. The likelihood of him being traded to the Steelers. Come on, man. Some of these things we have to just stop and say it ain't gonna happen, bro. It ain't gonna happen. Come on. It's not gonna happen. For one, if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe Myles Garrett is a 3-4 edge rusher. Isn't Myles Garrett more of a DN? If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, Myles Garrett and the Cleveland Browns are more of a 4-3 type of defense, right? Let me see what y'all say. I could be bugging. Oh, yeah. Jack Bauer said he's not a 3-4 lineman. Who else said it? Dwayne Williams. Appreciate that, Dwayne, as well. He says Myles Garrett is a 4-3. That's what I thought. So it's... Guys, we got to stop, Steeler Nation. We got to stop, man. I don't know what this is with us, where we think the Steelers are supposed to trade for every player. They're supposed to sign every free agent, and they're supposed to acquire every top-rated draft pick. Every time, guys, it never fails. Every time we hear about a trade request, a cutting, or a free agent signing, Steeler Nation always hangs on to the name, and they totally disregard the request of the player. In this situation, he wants to go to where he can win a Super Bowl. Now, no disrespect to us, but if I'm Myles Garrett, I'm not looking across the way, what is it, like 70-something miles difference, something like that? Or is that Cincinnati? I don't know. I just know it's relatively close to Pittsburgh, both Cincinnati and Cleveland. I'm not looking down the way and saying, oh, yeah, that's the team that's ready for the Super Bowl. No disrespect to my team. I'm just keeping it a buck. That right now, don't even know as of today who the starting quarterback is going to be, who the franchise quarterback will be. I'm not looking down at Pittsburgh and thinking that's where I need to go if I'm Myles Garrett at this stage of my career. The man said he wants to go win a Super Bowl. So Myles Garrett is probably looking at teams like, again, whether he's a fit or not, when you talk about the 4-3, he might be looking at like the Eagles, and he might even be looking at Kansas City and figuring out whatever he has to do to fit into that mold, because there are at least two teams that look like they might be good for a good time. He might look at a team, and I don't know what scheme they run, but he might be looking at a team like the Lions. Hey, what could him and what's my man that got hurt? What's my man? I can't remember his name right now. Y'all know who I'm talking about, man. The outstanding pass rusher for the Lions. His name is slipping my mind right now. But him and Garrett together might do some damage, right? He might be looking at that. He might be looking at any of these teams that are on the cusp. A Buffalo Bills. Again, I know, I'm just saying, I don't know which scheme each one of these teams run. I'm just saying, even if it didn't fit 4-3, he might try to find a way to get on those rosters and see what he could do, because they're this close. Yeah, Hutchinson. That's right. Aiden Hutchinson. Appreciate y'all for giving me the name. You know what I mean? He's not looking at Pittsburgh. Again, he's requesting a trade, and he has specific demands. So he probably would do something very similar to what we just saw with Justin Fields. He goes, he talks to the GM. Hey, let's try to see if we can get the best for me. And here's the type of teams. These are the teams I want to go to that I'm looking for the opportunity. Let's work together. Since right now this relationship is pretty much severed, no bad blood, but let's do what works best for both of us. It's not going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that's why it's the little elephant in the room. Now let's talk about the big elephant. Here we go again. Even Ben Roethlisberger said it could be a good idea. Kooper Kupp. Kooper Kupp. Apparently, Kooper Kupp has also come up in rumors as a trade target, potential trade guy. And of course, the Pittsburgh Steelers faithful are all like this. We should get him. We don't have a number 2. Listen, I'm all in favor of you guys being hype and optimistic and how can we find the number 2 and yada, yada, yada. But I want to remind you all, Kooper Kupp, heck of a player. He's 32 years old right now, which means, tread is starting to show on the tires. Still got some solid tread on it. The Kooper Kupp right now is probably like, some of you guys may have gone to. Have any of y'all, let's talk real quick. Let's talk some real stuff here, some life stuff. Have any of you guys ever in your lifetime, you're gone wherever you live, because I don't know if it's the same in every state, but all the states that I have resided in, well, I don't remember how it was in Atlanta, which is the state of Georgia. When I was out in Atlanta, I don't remember, but Virginia, Pennsylvania, Maryland, well, not Maryland either, because Maryland actually only inspects the car the first time. It's not yearly. But anyway, a lot of states you have to get a yearly inspection. So if any of you guys that live in the area where you have to get a yearly inspection, have you ever had it to where you've gone and got the inspection and the guy doing the inspection, guy or girl, doing your inspection says, yeah, tires are wearing a little bit, and instead of it being here, it's here, but probably it'll get you to the next inspection. But by the time you come back, or maybe 6 months or so, 6 to 12 months, maybe it's time to get a new set of tires or at least replace this tire. Y'all have all heard that before, right? It still can go. Might even get you another year, but we're getting close. That's what the tread is to me on Kooper Kupp. Still can ball. Heck of a baller, can still make some catches, but he's not quite what he used to be, and it's, wearing down a little bit. But the reason why I bring that up is because he has a significant cap hit. Significant. Double digit. And is he on his last year of a contract, I think? So it's one of those things. You ain't gonna take on that kind of money, man, for a guy that, you more than likely not gonna do a long-term deal with a 32-year-old receiver. I'm just saying. You're not. But I know what it is, Steelers fans. I know what it is. We looking like this. We could get Kooper Kupp. Listen, I love Kooper Kupp. Boy, is smooth. Boy, is bad. But no. No. What is the one thing that I've been saying that I want us to get away from? Age. We have to face the music and face the facts as Steelers fans, guys. It's time for us to continue to build with youth. We got a youthful offensive line that looks like they might be able to come together when it comes together. Got a little bit of youth on the defensive, the inside backer. We got Peyton Wilson. I said his name correct finally. We got Wilson, and looks like maybe he'll be something. Give him a little more time. Patrick Queen is not that old. We got a little bit of youth right there. 2 guys that you would expect to be in the rotation together for at least another 2 seasons, I'm thinking. Got a young cornerback, even though he got to get his mind right. Enjoy Porter Jr. Potentially another young cornerback over there in Corey Trice or whoever they might draft. Safety position, aging a little bit. Minka's still Minka. But now maybe it's time to pair some youth with him. Even though I love Deshaun Elliott, don't get it twisted. But I like the Steelers, keeping a steady 3-man rotation or a 3 safety look. I like that. I have liked how that's looked. Especially liked it this year with Deshaun Elliott being able to play in the box and all of that. But again, you might want to start looking at some youth there as well. And then you got the edge rushers. Pretty solid youth with Highsmith. Good youth with Herbig, TJ Agent. Then defensive line. Y'all already know. The cap. Big Cam. We already know he's aging. Had a heck of a season in 2024, but the man's going to be 36 years old. I like Benton, but we got to continue to build there. So again, youth. You look at some of these teams that are up and coming. or in the Super Bowl, look at Philly. Youth, baby. The Eagles, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to just say this blindly without, really remembering their roster. They youthful everywhere for the most part. Got a couple older guys, I think, on the O-line, but they got some young boys too, like Dickerson and those guys. Got some youth at the receiver. Veteran youth in Brown and Smith. Youthful quarterback. And that back end of the defense, the whole defense almost, youth. Whether it's Jalen Carter or Jordan Davis or all of them Georgia boys. N'Kobe Dean and what's the other kid? Nolan Smith, youth everywhere. And then the back end, my Lord. Dijon and Quindell, it was his name, Mitchell. Youth, folks. So no, if you're asking me, no, I do not want. I love him. Great player. Smooth, ill with it. Love Kooper Kupp, but not at that price tag and at that age, man, where you can go get you young star receivers, man. It almost seems like a dime a dozen nowadays. So that's the only reason why I wouldn't do it. Because again, guys, you're talking to me. You're talking to Sim. I'm the guy that's always trying to keep it realistic and relative and keep a very relative or realistic perspective and say, look, guys, we're going to have to go through it. We're going to have to go through that youthful rebuild. I know it's not comfortable because we want to win now, but we got to do it. Hey, Kenyon just said something that might tick some of y'all off, but he's right. He says, I don't want Tyreek either. Because of this. It's the money, honey. The money. Of course, we would love to have a Tyreek Hill stretching the field alongside George Pickens for this season. Oh, of course. But it gets to a point, guys, where we got to take the I want to win now fanism off, take that hat off, and put another one on. You know what I mean? Steelers are going to have to go through that youthful rebuild. They're going to have to if they want to contend. A lot of these teams, again, look at the playoff teams, right? Minus the Steelers, a lot of them have infused a lot of youth. And yeah, a lot of these teams, at one point they had draft picks where they were at a low enough point to kind of, kickstart it, but we can't worry about that either. We gotta draft well at wherever we draft at, but again, it has to start with youth. So that's just my opinion, guys. I know it hurts, but that's just my opinion. Not saying I'm right. It's just how I feel. Okay, the next thing on the list, guys. Before we get to the last one, there's rumors coming out. Rumors are coming out, and there's speculation flying around, but again, rumors saying that Arthur Smith and Russell Wilson didn't get along, but more importantly, they're saying that Arthur Smith did not allow Russell Wilson to change plays down the stretch of the season. I want to know how you guys feel about that. There's rumors out there. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Alex Kazor even put like a comparison up, like looking at the first Cincinnati game and then looking at some of the later games and just showing you the difference, when we had all of them yards. And then, I didn't read the full article, so, I kind of glanced at it, but it looks like what he was trying to say is it would have appeared in that game, he still had the autonomy of changing plays and such, but down the stretch, it got a little more structured. Now, this goes back, guys, to what I was saying about whose philosophy. We know what Tomlin's philosophy is as a whole, right? But I want to remind you guys, because a lot of times we say, Tomlin just wants to be conservative and he wants to, maybe he does, but we cannot forget. We cannot forget the Killer B era, baby. or the Ben Roethlisberger era, period, I'll say from 2013 and beyond. Ben Roethlisberger was calling his own plays. Ben Roethlisberger was running the offense at times. Ben Roethlisberger was changing plays. And there was a moment in time, too, where there was a little friction between him and, was it Haley or somebody where, oh, no, it might have been Canada. Might have been Canada. Yeah, I think, I could be misremembering, but I think Ben was doing his passive-aggressive thing with Canada when he was saying, I just call the plays that are called. But we all know, yeah, because remember all of us used to say, why they won't let Ben do Ben? And I think Sonny, him and Todd did have a little friction early on, but that started going. But I want to say it was Matt Canada when he started saying down the stretch of his career, hey, I just call the plays that are going to call. You know what I mean? Ben doing his passive aggressive. But that, to me, it makes me look at this a little differently. Because, again, we all know what Mike Tomlin's philosophy is, but I do believe he allows his coaches to coach. Or it could be the comfortability he had with Ben Roethlisberger being the franchise guy. You would think he started to develop a little bit of that comfortability as well with Russ. So if the rumors are true and it's Arthur Smith and Russell Wilson, then Arthur Smith is the issue in that case. Why would you not allow a future Hall of Fame quarterback, veteran, 13 years? Why would you not let him call plays and all that? Especially, again, if the rumors are true, which rumors are stating that early on when Russ was cooking, when he went on that, what he went on, like a 6-1 run, something like that, that he had the freedom to do what he wanted. That is something to pay very close attention to, guys, because I don't like that. I don't like that if that comes from Arthur Smith, and I absolutely do not like that if it was a directive from Mike Tomlin. I have no way of knowing. I wouldn't think it would be a directive from Mike Tomlin, knowing that him and Russ has a relationship. It seems like it could possibly be, if any of this is true, if it's rumors, we don't know, but if any of this is true, it seems like the problem was with him and Arthur Smith, and I do not like that. I don't like that. That's not good, folks. That ain't. Which brings me to my last point. The headline topic of the night. The question is in the title of the show. Who really fired Matt Canada? Who really fired Matt Canada? I'm about to say Mike Canada. But who really fired Matt Canada? Here's the reason why I'm asking. Mike Tomlin was asked about that. You guys remember his response after the firing? He said the decision was mine and mine only. That's what he said. But let me add a little bit of context to that. Mike Tomlin has been known for always taking the brunt of the blame, all of it. Anytime something happens, I'll take ownership for that. Even when we clearly know it was another player or a coach, that I take ownership, that's on me. He's always done that. Most people will talk about him and say he's always protected his staff and players. Was that Mike Tomlin just doing that? Or does Mike Tomlin actually have the autonomy to just fire at will? Here's the reason why I asked that question. If he does have the free reign to fire whenever he feels like it, then yes, he in fact does believe in Arthur Smith's offense. And yes, he in fact does believe in Terrell Austin's defense, along with his assistants. If he doesn't have the ability to fire, then that's another problem. Because then the ownership needs to be able to step in when stepping in is necessary. So again, when we saw Matt Canada get fired, everybody was like, whoa. But I really want to know whose decision was it, because yeah, the fans, absolutely the fans did. Remember on College Game Day, wherever they went, you was hearing fire Canada chants. It was crazy. But again, guys, I don't know the answer, and I don't know if any of us ever will, because, you know, a coach might say one thing, but we don't know what's behind closed doors. That's just how things go. But it does make me question a couple things, whichever way the answer is. If he does have full control to do it, it makes me question why he sticks with certain people so long. And if he doesn't have the ability to fire, it makes me look at the ownership and say, why do you stick with people so long? I get the loyal thing, the loyalty. I get it. Because even Dan Rooney always talked about loyalty. You always hear that from the Rooney family. And I can't say I don't respect that. I respect loyalty. I'm big on loyalty. Anybody that knows me in my personal life know how I get down when it comes to that. I'm big on that. I'm big on family values, and this is just what we believe in. We don't let that compromise nothing. I'm just, using that as an example. We don't let anything compromise what we believe as a family. So if they are loyal by nature, I get it. But again, if that is the case, then is it ownership or Tomlin? Some people are going to say it's all Tomlin. Well, my only pushback to that, I have no way of knowing, is the Steelers' history in the last 50 years of firing coaches, positional coaches, head coaches, coordinators. They don't do it. And this was well before Mike Tomlin. So I would love to know the answer. I really would love to know. Not speculate. Not what you think, because I know a lot of y'all are probably going to say what you think. I don't know. But that's why I asked that question. Who really fired him? Did Tomlin decide and say, look, Art, we got to let him go, man? And Art Rooney, said, okay, Mike, okay, we respect your decision. We're going to allow this to happen this time. Was it more of that? Was it more of Mike Tomlin pounding the table and saying, man, I can't take it no more? And then the Rooneys decided to go against their norm? Or does he just have free reign to do it? It's hard to answer that question, guys, with facts, because I have no way of getting the facts. But I just thought I would bring that to you guys' attention, man, because again, if he by chance has free reign to do what he wants, then these coordinators, he clearly thinks that he could get the job done with them, which would lean more into what I said a few weeks ago about Mike Tomlin being, in my opinion, a great coach, but maybe his philosophy is the problem, where the philosophy has not blossomed to where you're going to guarantee being able to compete with the big dogs. Maybe good enough to, get you 10 wins and things like that. But to jump to the next level, like I said, the philosophy is going to have to change, or we're going to have to build a roster that can 100% carry out your philosophy. Other than that, it'll be much of the same until there's a new regime at the head coach. So just thought I'd throw that out there, man, and see how y'all felt about that one. Look at that, guys. We got this done in less than 40 minutes. So I'll spend 2 minutes or so. See what y'all got in the chat. What we got? Let's see. Brother Man says, cannot be loyal if we want Tomlin fired or gone. Okay. What else y'all got? The Steeler card says, I think we all agree Rooney put pressure on Tomlin to fire Canada. Yeah, I've heard that too. I've heard a lot of people think it that way. I don't think any of these opinions are bad. I mean, none of us know. We all have a right to formulate an opinion. So, some people feel like it was that. And you know what? Steeler cards, it would seem that way to me just because of the history of the Steelers and their coaches. It would seem, if I didn't know the Rooneys or Mike Tomlin, From the outside, I would say, well, it seems like the organization makes that call more than the coach does, just because of their history. Because we see these other teams that just fire away. You know what I mean? What else y'all got? Walter Worthy says, I have no idea who fired him, but whoever did, it's all love. You ain't never lied about that, my brother. Kev So Fun says, Sim, who you have winning the Super Bowl? That's a tough one. Matter of fact, let me see. I didn't miss any. Okay, I'm just making sure I didn't miss any Wonder Bread. Okay, no Wonder Bread tonight. Okay, good. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any. This is a tough one because I know a lot of people feel like, Kansas City has such influence on the league and the refs and all of that. And I mean, we saw the same thing with the Patriots. I know, guys. I mean, we can't. There may be some things that are questionable. I mean, I don't think any of us would disagree with that. Just when you watch the game, there's things that at least appear to be questionable. But we can't say that's the only reason why the Chiefs are winning. I mean, the Chiefs have been continuing to win because they have as the old folk would say, they have a nice outfit. That unit it's good. They have a good unit, man. Offensively, defensively, franchise quarterback, Hall of Fame coach. I mean, they got the ingredients to be good, and they've done it. This is twice now that they did it. Remember last year we talked about them not having a bona fide receiver. This year they started off a little slow offensively, but then they added a few pieces. They drafted a guy like Worthy, and now everything is coming together. Their defense is stout. And again, that quarterback, man, and that head coach. But then you look at Philly. And Philly has a type of defense that could hold Mahomes down. Listen, I know Mahomes wasn't a world beater for the entire duration of the season. I would say, shoot, Mahomes wasn't a world beater probably. How many games they play? 17? I might even say through week 13, Mahomes wasn't a world beater at all. Trust me, I know because I had him as my as my fantasy quarterback. So I know. Didn't do much until the last 5 or 6 games. Philadelphia has the defense enough that could probably hold that in check. Will Kansas City be able to stop the run? I'm going to call it right now. If the Eagles are able to run the ball with Saquon Barkley, I think they win this game. I do. I think it's going to be a close game. Hard to bet against Kansas City, but I'm going to go out on a limb and I say the Eagles get it done. Only reason why I say that is I just have a feeling they might find a way to get the run game going. And if Saquon is if he's running, Super Bowl trophies are coming. So that's what I got, man. Oh, man, there goes some Wonder Bread. Appreciate you, brother, man. Thank you so much, man. Round of applause. Appreciate it. Oh, he just says, showing support to keep up the nice work. Man, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, brother, man. You guys have been so kind to me with the Wonder Bread drops, man. I really, really appreciate y'all. Let's see what else y'all got. Brother man says the Chiefs do not deserve a three-peat. I wouldn't say that. I mean, they got there. And like I said, remember there was a time early in the year when I was like, man, I think we'll beat Kansas City because they didn't look like an unbeatable team at all. And then again, last 5 or 6 games or so, right around roughly closer to the end of the season, they start picking it up, man. Start picking it up. What else y'all got? I'm not gonna answer any Madden questions, man. This ain't about Madden, man. This is a different podcast. But I appreciate you, man. But I don't know. I'll answer that. But why do you guys do that so much? Let me get that off my chest. Why do you guys do that so much? Like, I see it happen even when I'm streaming a video game, right? Why do you guys come into a specific video, right? You know, this is Terrible Towel Tuesday and it's about the Steelers. Why do y'all come into streams like that and ask questions about other stuff? Listen, I'm not telling you guys how to act. I appreciate you coming by. But what I'm saying is if I'm focused on one thing, I think it's me personally. I just think if I was listening to a podcast, right, or a show, and it always gets off topic, I'd be like, you know, it'll lose a little bit of its luster. Now, I don't think that happens here because some of you guys love when I talk about other things. So again, I'm not discouraging you, my man Wings, but you know, I'm just saying sometimes it throws me off. I'll be talking about one thing and then somebody will ask me about Madden or somebody will ask me about Drake and Kendrick. And I'm like, I'm not in the mindset about that right at the moment, but it's all love, man. What else y'all got? I will say this though. I think I am. I told y'all this before, and I'm going to start it soon, man. I think I'm going to do a show about just random things, man. Maybe I'll do it on Wednesdays or Fridays or something. I think I'm going to add some additional content to this channel. Well, a lot of times people, I guess just because, you know, y'all know me and convene, you know, converse with me and stuff. I think I am going to do a separate show just talking about random topics of the world. So I can start giving my opinions on some things that you guys ask me about, whether it's music, pop culture, you know, whatever the case may be. Even some of the political stuff. And I'm not going to go too deep because I don't want people, you know, it ain't, you know, but just giving my opinion on some of the ways of the world, right? Past experiences and stuff like that. Maybe y'all enjoyed it. I'm trying to figure out what to call the show. But stay tuned for that. My man Wing says, I try to ask you and Smitty are streaming, but y'all ain't been. I know, man. And that's our bad. Life has just gotten in the way, man. With my son playing basketball and stuff, Thursdays have been tough. Speaking of which, let me just say this as a side note. Thank you for Wings for bringing it up. Smitty and I have been trying to get a show done since January, right? Said we were going to come back in 2025. And we just keep missing the mark. It's the time right now. Our lives are a little different on Thursdays now. Whether it's me doing practice for basketball with my son and Smitty doing things with his kids and going out to dinner and yada, yada, yada. So what we're probably going to start doing, guys, is giving y'all a heads up. I proposed to him last week, hey, what if we start like pre-recording the show, right? And we might try to get to it tomorrow. We'll do a show, just me and him, and we'll post it on Thursday. And it'll kind of be like, you know, a real podcast, so to speak. It won't be live unless there'll be times when we can do it live. But so many people have asked about where we've been, so we realize that you guys want to hear from us. So that might be the better avenue for now. But stay tuned. Stay tuned. Sims Daily. Sims Diary. Okay, I like that. I read that wrong. Oh, I like that too. Staying in touch with Sim. Okay. Okay. We're going to do something snappy, snazzy. Brother man says something about Brady's voice. He hates Brady's voice, huh? I didn't like Brady as a commentator at first. He got a little better throughout the year. Well, I could tolerate it. But I didn't like him in the beginning of the year. So he definitely was the most improved color commentary guy over the season because I did not like him in the first couple games, man. What else y'all got? Give me a couple more before I'm out of here, man. You said that's good. Kenyan teaching Sim's son. Yeah, man. My little man doing his thing, man. I got him training with above his weight class, so to speak. You know, he's trading with he's playing training up. He's playing with some older boys and holding his own, man. Holding his own, man. And I'll get more into that at a later date. But I'll just say that. Yeah, he's impressing sixth and seventh graders. He's a fifth grader. And yeah, man, he's locking in, man. He's doing his thing. Um, but yeah, I got a lot to say, man. I do. There's so much that I would love to talk about. And like I said, it's not so fitting for this show. So um, that's why I said I might do a break, a different type of show. So I can have, if I'm being real with y'all, man, let me share this with y'all real quick. And I told y'all not to get off topic, and here I go. But let me just share this with y'all, and then we'll get out of here. Testing, testing. We are back. So this is what happened, guys. Let me get back to what I was saying. So the mic that I'm using, I use the software. I use the Elgato Wavelink mic, and I use their software. Somehow the software just crashed. It just crashed in the middle, and I couldn't get it going. I kept, cutting it on, cutting it on. It kept saying, "Connect your mic." My mic is connected. It started working again. I think maybe because there's, excuse me, an update. I installed the update, but I didn't like officially take it. So maybe that's its way of forcing me to do that. So I'll do that after the show. But really quick, what I was saying, man, I'll try to wrap this up really quick. I was saying that I would love to do this full time. I wish I could. I've been on stages and things like that. I like to perform, but I like doing this. I watched other people's and podcasts, and I watch podcasts. Like, I'm a big fan of the Joe Budden podcast because a lot of different perspectives. You can find your favorite persons or people on there. And I'm like, man, these people are just having conversations. And, to me, it's not about being paid or anything like that. But I'm like, wow, they're actually able to do that for a living. If I could do this for a living, I would love to. But the truth about YouTube, man, YouTube is an algorithm game. Many of you guys have even said this to me. Man, this show should be even bigger. Man, I love your content. Oh, round of applause again to Brother Man, real quick. Appreciate that extra Wonder Bread right there. But yeah, a lot of you guys say, man, this is my favorite show, which y'all humble me when y'all say that. You should be bigger and yada, yada. It's an algorithm game, man. It's all about what can be put in front of this audience. And, so I figure what happens too with YouTube is you get boxed in. You get put into a box. They label you as a certain channel. You try to do anything else and it stagnates the channel. It's a whole lot of stuff. So like I said, man, I feel like because you guys say things like Brother Man just said, people are always saying, hey, man, we like your authenticity and all of that. A lot of people have said, we want to hear your opinion on other stuff. So I said, all right, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try to have a show totally different from the Steelers stuff. I'm not even going to have this background. Like, that's a real background. So I'll probably use a green screen for that to completely separate it from the Steelers stuff and see what happens. So that was just me giving y'all a little quick synopsis. And no, I'm not on Patreon. It's funny that you say that because that's a tough one too, man, because you move over to Patreon, man. My fear is that I alienate some of you guys that have been loyal. You know what I mean? Because if you go over to Patreon, it's behind a paywall, right? And some of you guys are just, y'all each and every week, man. Like I said, it's like we family. Y'all been rocking with me for a long time. And the last thing I want to do, I'm never going to put money over that. But I keep it a buck with y'all. Yeah, of course I want to who wouldn't want to make money for their time and effort? That's why you do YouTube and shows and stuff like that. You monetize. Who wouldn't want to get paid for that? But last thing I would want to do is alienate you guys, the audience, by going over to Patreon, and then it's a pay to play type of situation. You know what I mean? I know some of you guys are channel members, but over there it would be all or nothing. I've definitely contemplated that, but those are just businessman things I have to deal with. But for now, it's business as usual. But yeah, like I said, I got off topic there a little bit, man, but I figured we'd end with that unless you guys got anything else. Kenya said he going to OnlyFans. Well, I tell you one thing, brother, I would never see you there. Because if you going over there, you probably doing something I ain't got no business seeing my brother doing. You know what I mean? Nah, y'all know Kenya he just clowning, man. Yeah, I know. I know, Kenya. No, I know what you said. But yeah, man. So y'all know I keep it funky with y'all, man. I always keep it a buck with y'all. So the thought has crossed my mind, but like I said, not at the expense of alienating some of y'all. You know what I mean? Like, nah. But it's definitely crossed my mind because, listen, this is America. You know what I mean? And let me just say that real quick. Look around and how things are going out here. You better find a way to keep some money in your pocket because it's getting crazy out here. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave that at that. But all right, man, I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's show, man. Hopefully some more news comes out this week that I can grab a topic or two and just jump on, do a little quick video. and try to produce more content. Because that's part of it too, man. Being more active. That's part of it too. So I got to play my part in doing that. I got to keep this thing year round. It can't just be active during the season. I got to find ways to keep you guys entertained and engaged. So I put that on my shoulders. But other than that, man, I hope you all enjoyed the night. Before you go, of course, I'm going to remind you to hit that like button if you like this video. Hit the subscribe button if you like the content. And turn on your notifications so you know when content is up and ready for you. Outside of that, if I have never said this before, I'm definitely going to say it today. Be safe out there. Be safe out there. It's a lot going on. Keep your eyes open. Judge things for yourself too. Peep game. Head on a swivel. It's getting crazy out here. But y'all be safe, man. Be blessed. Hey, I'm going to say this to y'all as well. I say this every year. Got my annual checkup coming on Thursday. Yesterday morning, I went to the lab, got my lab work. Everything looks clean, because, the little health system out here, you can put it in your portal. They show you your results before you even get to the doctor. Everything's looking good. Glucose and cholesterol and all that. But fellas, I'm talking to y'all because all of the lovely ladies in this chat probably don't have this problem. Go to the doctors, bruh. I know we men and we think we tough and we men of steel and we don't need it. Go to the doctor. Get your checkups, man. Make sure you're healthy, right? And if you're not, make sure you find out what can be corrected. But don't be out here just, not knowing. You know what I mean? We got to do that. But other than that, man, listen, again, stay safe, stay healthy. God bless. Good night. Like always, I thank each and every one of y'all for tuning in. I shall catch you in the next one, but I will see you soon. You will see me again this week with something. See y'all later. Peace.